Snow battered the mountainside with a relentless force, turning the winding road into a white blur. Liam Carter tightened his grip on the steering wheel of the rescue truck, squinting through the windshield as his radio crackled. Unit 3, do you copy? We've got an SUV reported off the guardrail on mile 17. Driver's alive, but the vehicle's unstable. I'm 10 minutes out, Liam replied, already pushing the gas harder. His breath fogged the window, even with the heater blasting. He glanced at the photo clipped to his dash, his daughter, Lucy, gap-toothed smile beaming under a pink beanie. He kissed his fingers and tapped the frame. Be back soon, kiddo. The road narrowed as he climbed higher. Ice crunched under his tires. Then he saw it, a black SUV perched at a horrific angle, its rear lifted off the ground, front crumpled against a tree stump, the nose dangerously close to slipping off the cliff. He parked 50 feet uphill and grabbed his emergency kit, ropes already slung across his back. Every instinct kicked in as he jogged through the snowdrifts toward the wreck. Inside the SUV, a woman was trapped behind the shattered windshield, her eyes wide with panic. The vehicle creaked under its own weight, the metal groaning like it was about to give way. Liam crouched low, his voice cutting through the storm. Can you hear me? She turned sharply toward the voice, breath fogging the glass. Her lip was bleeding. Yes, I can't move the door. I think the whole thing's going over. It might, he said calmly, even though his gut agreed. But not with you in it. What's your name? Elena Voss. Liam blinked. He knew the name, Voss Tech. Big city CEO, always on magazine covers. What the hell was she doing alone up here? Okay, Elena, I'm Liam. I'm going to break the window, then pull you out. You need to listen carefully. When I say go, you come with me. Don't hesitate. Don't grab the car. Hold on to me. Me, not the car. Got it? I think so. You have to, or you won't make it. The SUV groaned again. Snow slid from the roof. A wheel spun aimlessly in the air. Liam took his window punch, slammed it against the glass. The window shattered, shards spraying inward. Elena screamed, shielding her face, and instinctively grabbed the steering wheel. Her knuckles turned white. Let it go, Liam shouted. Give me your hand. I can't. You can. Look at me. She met his eyes. Something in his voice cut through the noise, steady, grounded, a voice that didn't waver. The car is not your safety. I am. Hold on to me. Slowly, with trembling fingers, she let go of the wheel and reached toward him. The second their hands met, Liam gripped her tight, anchoring her wrist to his forearm. Now, he barked, yanking her with all his strength. The car shifted violently as Elena came halfway out. For a split second, her knee caught the doorframe, and she screamed in pain. Liam didn't stop. He pulled harder, rolling backward into the snow with her in his arms. Seconds later, the SUV gave a metallic shriek and slipped. Elena turned just in time to see it disappear over the edge, tumbling down the ravine with a sickening series of crashes. Then silence, only the wind. Liam was on his knees, snow soaking through his jeans, Elena clinging to his chest like a lifeline. Her breath came in short, shocked bursts, her whole body trembling. You're okay, he whispered, tucking her into his arms like he did with Lucy after a nightmare. You're okay, you made it. I didn't think I would, she gasped. I thought. She shook her head, unable to finish. But you did. He tilted her chin gently, checking her pupils. No concussion, some cuts, probably a sprained ankle, judging by the way she was holding it. Help's on the way, we'll warm you up in the truck. She looked up at him, eyes still wide, but softer now. Searching. I've never been that close to death, she said quietly. You're not the only one. A small, breathless laugh escaped her. You could have fallen with me. Would have been worth it, he said before thinking. Their eyes locked. Neither of them looked away. Sirens wailed in the distance. Liam stood, helping her gently to her feet, supporting her weight with practiced ease. She leaned into him without resistance. What's your name again? She asked, suddenly aware that she barely heard it. Liam Carter. Liam Carter, she repeated, like she wanted to write it in her memory. The flashing lights lit up the snow as medics ran toward them. Elena was quickly taken, wrapped in a thermal blanket, loaded into the ambulance. Liam watched from a distance, just doing his job, but before the doors closed, Elena turned, meeting his eyes one last time. Hold on to me, she whispered. Right, but he didn't answer. He just nodded once, and she was gone. He never expected to see her again. He had no idea she would spend the next 8 years trying to find him. Steam curled from the mugs as Liam sat at the corner table of the little coffee shop in downtown Brattle Creek, Vermont. The windows fogged slightly from the warmth inside meeting the crisp October air outside. His 7-year-old daughter, Lucy, sat across from him, swinging her legs and giggling every time the whipped cream on her hot chocolate stuck to her nose. "Daddy, look," she said, crossing her eyes to see the dollop clinging to her upper lip. Liam chuckled and reached over with a napkin. "Wipe before you sneeze, kiddo, or you're gonna launch marshmallows across the room." She laughed again, leaning into his arm. This was their Saturday ritual. Mornings just the two of them, before homework and laundry and the never-ending list of everything a single parent had to juggle. These quiet moments were the ones he lived for. The world could wait. Then the bell over the door rang. He glanced up casually, then froze. There she was. She stood just inside the doorway, hesitant, almost out of place. Wearing jeans, a forest green wool coat, and no makeup, her presence still felt like someone had turned a spotlight on the room. Her hair was a little longer, and there was a softness around her eyes that hadn't been there 8 years ago. But it was her, Elena Voss. "I found you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, though it somehow cut through the bustle of the cafe and lodged itself in his chest. He stood slowly, unsure if he was hallucinating. "Elena?" he asked. She nodded, her eyes already shining. "It's really you." His heart thudded in his chest like it didn't know what to do with itself. "You look different. You look exactly the same." She smiled through the emotion. "Except maybe more tired. And happier." Liam blinked, then remembered Lucy, who was now watching the exchange with wide, curious eyes. "Lucy," he said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "This is someone I met a long time ago. A friend." Elena's voice softened. "Hi, Lucy, I've heard a lot about you." Lucy grinned, unfazed. "Do you like whipped cream?" Elena laughed through a tear. "I love it." Liam gestured to the empty chair at their table. "Do you want to sit?" "I would," she said, pulling off her gloves. Her hands trembled slightly. She sat across from them, taking in the scene like it was something she had imagined 100 different ways. For all Liam knew, maybe she had. "I looked for you for years," she said finally, her fingers curled around the edge of the table like she needed to hold onto something solid. "You gave the hospital a fake last name. No forwarding info. Nothing. I didn't think you'd remember me," he admitted. Her gaze snapped up, startled. "You saved my life. You were a billionaire CEO. I figured you had other things to worry about. I walked away from half of them because of that night." She looked down at her hands. "After that fall, I couldn't see my own company the same way. Couldn't see my own life the same way." He tilted his head. "So what did you do?" "I stepped down. Started over. Took time off. Built something smaller. Something I could breathe in." She looked at Lucy. "Something real." Liam leaned back, still trying to absorb the fact that she was here. The last time he'd seen her, she'd been wheeled into an ambulance with snow in her hair and blood on her cheek. Now she was looking at him like nothing else in the world mattered. "I thought about writing," she continued. "A letter. A donation to your rescue team. Hell, I even considered putting your face on a billboard." "Glad you didn't," he said with a smirk. "This town barely survived the Dunkin' Donuts opening." She laughed, and it sounded like something he hadn't realized he missed. Lucy interrupted, tugging at Liam's sleeve. "Is she gonna be our friend now?" Liam hesitated, then looked back at Elena. "That depends," he said. "On what? On whether you're here to say thank you, or something more." Elena didn't blink. "I'm here because I never stopped wondering what my life would have looked like if I'd held on a second longer. To you, not the car." The memory of that night came back in a rush. Her voice screaming, the weight of her arm in his grip. The moment the SUV disappeared and she was still in his arms. "I've thought about you more than I should have," he said quietly. "I hoped you did." Lucy finished her cocoa with a loud slurp. "You should come back next Saturday." Elena smiled, leaning toward her. "I'd like that, if your dad says it's okay." Liam looked at both of them, a strange warmth crawling into the spaces he'd tried to keep closed. "It's okay," he said. "It's more than okay." Outside, the wind picked up. Leaves tumbled down the sidewalk in little golden spirals. But inside, at that tiny corner table, the world held still, just for a moment. And this time, no one had to let go.